What's up, chat? Good evening, good evening. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome you back to another one. I'm your host, Juby the Tubi, and welcome to Straight Talk, Family Above Everything. In a minute, we're going to get my partner here, Zenray from Zenray Sports TV. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys had a nice Christmas and a nice holiday. Knicks came away with a victory tonight. It was an ugly one. 96-88. I'm so used to them scoring 100 plus points, but that wasn't the case tonight. They scored 96, and Minnesota scored 88 points. First time in a while that team held the Minnesota Timberwolves under 100 points. Got the hiccups here. Led by Mitchell Robinson. Money Mitch seems to be finding his groove. Money Mitch had 14 points and 18 rebounds, 1 block in 32 minutes of play. Julius Randle, again, with a mediocre game, but he did have 15 rebounds. But he did have a lot of turnovers, 5 for 20 from the field. So not the Julius Randle outing that you want. Kemba Walker was held by Patrick Beverley tonight. The NBA Eastern Conference Player of the Week was only held to 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Evan Fournier started off hot in the first quarter, but then his flame died down and only finished with a score of 13 points. Quentin Grimes is another one. At the beginning, was hot. Could have missed a 3, but then fell off and cooled off. And Obi Toppin only got 11 minutes again. Had 7 points, 3 assists. Come on, Thibodeau. You got to find some minutes for my guy, Obi Toppin. But we'll get to that in a second. Again, welcome. This is Juby the Tubi, and you're here with Family Above Everything. And let me get my partner here, Zenray from Zenray Sports TV. Excuse me. What's up, Zenray?
Hey, how you doing, Juby the Tubi? Good evening. I was just mentioning just when you came on that the Knicks need to work on their free throw shooting once again. They were 6-16 at the free throw line, shooting a measly 36%. So you figured that we gave 10 free points away. This game shouldn't have been close. But let me tell you who I was impressed with tonight. And I'm not going to talk about any Knick player, but Josh McDaniels. What a player. Ooh. What a player, Mr. Josh McDaniels. He looked very impressive all night. He had 18 points in 36 minutes. He was the number 1 pick, the 28th pick. I know the Knicks were looking at to pick him up at the 2000 draft from Washington, the 6'9", 185-pounder. I'm sorry, Jaden McDaniels. I was saying Josh, but there's Jaden McDaniels. Yeah. He started this evening, and he showed what kind of talent this kid has. This kid basically had 18 points this evening, gave the Knicks very hard time. Even the center that they picked up, Monroe, he looked very impressive. 22 minutes, he had 7 points, but he had like 4 block shots. He had 3 block shots. McDaniels had 5 block shots. I mean, this is a pesky team. We kept this team kind of laying around, keeping it close. That's dangerous, but the Knicks pulled it out 96-88. What a game for Mitchell Robinson. And Randall didn't have good offensive numbers, but he did hit the boards with 15 boards. He was 1 for 5 from 3 points. And Mitchell Robinson, 32 minutes of play, had 18 rebounds, had 2 steals, 1 block, had 14 points. So not much talk about stat-wise. The Knicks bench came up with 38 points this evening. They were the saving grace once again. So the Knicks, these are the games you have to win. I mean, if you look at the East, everybody's piled up on top of each other, basically. The Knicks have some easy games coming up the road. Next 2 games are against Detroit and Houston, and then they play Toronto at Toronto, their last game of the road trip. The Knicks could pick up some ground winning some games these next few games.
Well, you mentioned you were impressed with that Minnesota McDaniels guy. I was impressed with Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson, has been coming quietly. He's been coming back to his former self before that foot injury. He played a phenomenal game above the rim. He only had 1 block, but he was, deflecting a lot of things, and people were altering their shots. So salute to him, man. He gets my MVP of the night. I'm going to actually start doing that for my viewers, and I don't know if you want to join in on that, but for me, Mitchell Robinson, MVP of the night, 100%. You said it. Julius Randle had an off game. Did have 15 rebounds, but shot 5 for 20. Had a lot of key turnovers, missed free throws, but the whole team was missing free throws collectively. Evan Fournier started off hot, and so did Quentin Grimes, but their flames died out. And Patrick Beverley held the Eastern Conference Player of the Week to only 10 points and 2 assists. So good job for Patrick Beverley for holding Kemba Walker, steaming, cooling off his hot fire that he's been having. But what really grinds my gears, and I'm gonna quote the Family Guy, is Obi Toppin, 11 minutes and 7 points, 3 assists. You want to say that you were impressed with Greg Monroe, who played 20-something minutes and had 7 points? How about 11 minutes, 7 points, 3 assists? I don't even know. And 3 assists and 2 rebounds. And you give my man 11 minutes. Shame on you, Tom Thibodeau. Shame on you.
You ever hear the old phrase of Rodney Dangerfield, I get no respect? You ever heard that?
Yep.
Rodney Dangerfield, when he's out in left field in the game, I get no respect. I get no respect. Well, that's Obi Toppin. He gets no respect. When will he get the respect? I don't know. I think he has some defensive lapses. I saw it as well. But come on, you're playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, look, regardless if you played him 11 minutes or you played him 20 minutes, it wouldn't have been a big deal. He decided to distribute and give Taj Gibson 16 minutes, and he gave Grimes 31 minutes. That tells you how much of a love affair he has for Quentin Grimes. He doesn't have much for a love affair for Obi Toppin, and I guarantee you, if one of the management of Leon Rose says, "Listen, we have a trade on the table. Who's the guy you want to trade on the team? Who's your top guy?" I guarantee you would say Obi. He has no love for Obi. I have no reason why. Maybe because he's a showboat a little bit. He does on the leg thing. Maybe his defense is not up to par. But you hit it on the head. Free Obi. He didn't free Obi. He gave me 11 minutes against the Timberwolves. I don't understand. That was going to be my second subject of the evening. You brought it up. You can see he has a love affair for Grimes. He loves Grimes.
He loves Randle. That's who he loves. He has a love affair with Mr. Julius Randle. He loves him. He loves every step he takes. I guess he loves his little braids that he has, because the man can shoot 5 for 20, and the man can have turnovers up the yin yang, and he'll still put him back in the game and still count on him to deliver.
Well, I tell you this: if you switch the contracts of Randle and Obi Toppin will have more minutes. Obviously, it's all political when it comes to contract. You cannot give a guy who you gave all this money to and put him on the bench. It's not going to happen. So I understand. I don't think he has a love affair for him. I think he has no choice to love for. But I tell you something else. Randle would be on his list if there was a trade involving, and you can get another starter that can replace him. I don't know. Look, I'm just saying that Toppin should get more minutes, as you can say. A lot of the Knicks Nation believe the same thing. Evening like tonight, you could have reduced the Randle's minutes to 30 and put Obi Toppin in there. I don't know.
And McBride, we didn't have me and you. We knew this was gonna happen with Kemba Walker's resurgence. We knew that McBride was gonna get a little bit outcasted. And I know that you're a big Alex Burke fan, Ray, but I still don't like Alex Burke at that point guard. Emmanuel quickly only had 15, 16 minutes tonight. I know it's his only second game back from COVID protocol, so that's why maybe his minutes was a little bit limited. But Alex Burke should not be playing point guard whatsoever. He shouldn't at all. Not 100%.
I love Burks off the bench. I have a little affair with Burks off the bench. I've never mentioned Burks coming as a point guard. I always said Rose should be in there. Kemba, if the way he's playing. But I'm telling you, slowly but surely, I believe in my heart, after the All-Star break, I have a strange feeling, some barring injuries may be coming up, that Deuce McBride will be the starting point guard of the Knicks. And I have a strange feeling, because that's the man who's going to turn the Knicks season around. Between him and Grimes, at your top, playing the defense they play. You found your defensive stoppers in them, and the Knicks are gonna turn the page. Yeah, you're gonna make some. They're gonna make some mistakes along the way, but look, no turnovers. When Brad comes in there, he has no turnovers. Even in the G League, I think he's averaging maybe a turnover every 3 or 4 games. I mean, he rarely makes any turnovers, and I believe that Deuce McBride is the answer to your point guard, and your shooting guard should be Quentin Grimes in your starting rotation.
Absolutely. And another thing I want to touch up on is RJ Barrett had a bad game. Let's be honest. He's not himself yet. He's still getting back into rhythm. But remember what I always say, you got to have a certain swag to play in this city. He showed that swag in that fourth quarter. And
Sure.
to me, that's what Julius Randle lacks. You see, even with a bad, horrible game, shooting-wise, RJ Barrett came through with 7 points in that fourth quarter when we needed him, drove the ball to the basket, looked at the fans, stood there with his chest all sticking out, with a certain swagger about him, and that's why that man, to me, is going to be the Mr. Key to the city. That is our future Batman, 100%.
Yeah, not to take anything from Randall. Randall, I think he's going to show a lot of what he showed last year. You have to give him some time with new teammates and all. I think Nick Nation is not patient. I listen. He made some blunders today. I'm telling you that Jaden McDaniels made a fool out of Randall. He made a steal on him. He blocked his shot a couple of times. He even blocked Barrett's shot. I mean, Randall tries to do a lot and goes into double teams. He did that a couple of times this evening.
Mm-hmm.
But to show Randall is still the man in Thibodeau's eyes, it runs through Randall. But I'm glad that Walker is becoming the general of this team. He didn't have a great night this evening. A lot of Knicks didn't have a great night. I think it's going to get better. They're playing Detroit and Houston. This could be like a practice type of thing, but you need to win the game at the same time. Tonight, it was never as close as the score showed. I mean, it got a little tight here and there, but I was never nervous at all in saying, "Oh, the Knicks was going to lose this game at all," because Minnesota was on demand. They didn't have D'Angelo Russell, and they didn't have their center
or Edwards. They didn't have three of their stars.
Yeah, so those three-headed monsters that weren't there. So I didn't see them losing this game tonight. But Randall's still the man who still stirs the drinks, as per Tibbs, and Walker's the general of that floor. Barrett will come eventually, and then Obi Topping has to get at least 20 minutes coming off the bench.
Well, I think Tom Thibodeau is actually doing me a favor. As much as I want him to free Obi Toppin right now, I got to be honest with you. Let him showcase Alex Burke. Let him showcase, all these other guys, except the ones that we want not untouchable. Because remember, that trading deadline is right around the corner. So, to me, he's doing me a favor right now. Don't showcase Obi too much, because I don't want teams calling for Obi, or Quickly, or Grimes, or McBride. Those are my, you know what I mean? And Mitchell Robinson, the way he's been playing lately, man, I'm starting to take back on what I said about him. What scares me is what scares me with Julius Randle. You gave the man the bag, you gave him the chip, total different player. And
his contract is movable because that's why the Knicks signed him for that contract and he accepted. You know, the Knicks and NBA, they're supposed to up their salary up where the Knicks and other NBA teams can spend more. So that salary is going to look like a bargain compared to any other contract. Compared to the one from the Lakers or Westbrook, that contract is almost unmovable. And the other guy, a Wall, whose contract is unmovable as well. But Randall's contract is movable, and I can see a trade happening because Randall is a mixed bag of fruit nuts. You know what I'm saying? Some fruit shows up on the top sometime, and sometimes it gets a little nutty. You know.
I think it's his braids, like we said before.
No, it's just inconsistency. I think he's gotten better with it. I think the Knicks are going to give that a little more time to simmer. But when that trading deadline comes, I think if the right package is available, I can see Randall and Fournier and even Kemba Walker being in a trade package somehow. Get a player in here, and then you have Deuce coming in as a point guard eventually. That's a wild dream on my end. I don't think that all three players will be on the trade, but I can see one of those players being in some kind of trade.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see, man. There's plenty of basketball to be played. The East is wide open. You said it best. Right now, we could go on a little run right now, and we can be in fourth place before you know it. That's how wide open the East is right now.
Right.
It's all up. It's all you do see them right now. They're a little bit more coming together. They're a little bit more. The ball is moving a little bit more fluently than it was in the past. So I guess you said it, right? I mean, they needed time. It all started with Kemba Walker. He said it himself too, being named player of the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. He said, "quote When I sat down and watched my team play, I realized that I needed to be in a more aggressive, assertive point guard for playing for this team, and I wasn't doing that."
Right.
And obviously, it was a good thing. He said good things happen. Everything happens for a reason. And he says that his benching was a blessing and that he's learned a lot from it. So, salute to Tom Thibodeau for doing what he did and sticking to his gut, because he got the Knicks right now balling and buying into it right now. They got to get a little bit better on the defensive end, I still feel. There's still a little bit, they're not where I want them to be. Offensively today, they just weren't there. But luckily, the effort was there, the intensity was there, and the rebounding was there tonight. What an offensive rebounding game for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, 15 rebounds. So, collectively, rebounding machine, the team tonight. The problem is they're called free throws for a reason, Knicks. So if I'm Tom Thibodeau, back to the gym, 500 free throws each before you leave the gym.
I agree. The largest lead for the Knicks was 17, and the Timberwolves was 2. And you said it. On rebounding, we are rebounding 54 to 45. That had to do a lot with Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson that took the charge there. And the Knicks shot 40% from 3 and 41% from the field, while the Timberwolves shot 40, and they shot 18% from the 3-point range. So that's where they lost the game. They couldn't hit the threes. And that's scary, because imagine if they hit half those threes. Wow, this game could be real close. And we
would have won by 18 still, because we missed 10. How many free throws did we miss? 10 free throws?
10 free throws, correct.
So you figure we won by 8, add another 10 points to that. That's an 18-point victory. It's just we couldn't hit free throws.
Yeah, I agree. Look, if I was a GM right now and I'm looking at the Knicks roster and I'm saying to myself, who is the top guy I want here on my team? I want to get rid of some players who's under disgruntled. I'm telling you, Randall will be on top of the list. Kemba Walker's stock has definitely risen. Yeah. And Evan Fournier and any other team, because there's mass confusion of who's the general, who's bringing the ball up. Look, in 25 minutes of play, Fournier had 13 points. Okay, he was 5 for 14 from the field, 3 from 7 from the 3-point range. He had 2 assists. He only had 1 turnover. He had 2 rebounds, and he had 13 points. Look, I mean, it's not a excellent night, but per se, Robinson was a high guy in 14 points, and then Randle and Fournier came in second with 13 points. So Fournier has a lot of value for a lot of teams. I don't know, that contract may be too high for a lot of people to touch, I think. But look, if I was a GM, I look at Randle, Walker, and Fournier at that starting rotation right now.
Philly. I mean, you know what? I'm not even going to say Philly, bro. I take back what I said about wanting Ben Simmons here a few weeks back. You know what I mean? From the Philadelphia standpoint, Julius Randle, Joel Embiid, Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier package for a Ben Simmons thing would be fantastic for Philly. That'll make Philly a playoff contender. Hands down.
So then your starting point guard would be Deuce. You have Rose coming off the bench. You put Topping into that power forward position. You still have Mitchell Robinson, and then you put Grimes in for Fournier. It doesn't.
Where will Ben Simmons go?
Right, Ben Simmons will be point guard, and then Rose and I'm sorry.
See what I'm saying?
Deuce,
like, yes. So it kind of throws like I said, from a Philadelphia standpoint, it makes a lot of sense for them to want that kind of package because that puts them right in the contenders for a championship.
Oh
But
yeah.
from a Knicks standpoint, from a Knicks management standpoint, does this guy call Scott Perry and them sit there and say, do we bring back a Ben Simmons and undermines basically Deuce McBride, and we're gonna make him wait a couple of years because Ben Simmons is not an old guy. What is he? 26, 25?
You
That's
can
the
still you can still use McBride off the bench. Rose. I mean, how many years does Rose have here? Maybe another 2 or 3 years.
he signed. He signed a 4 year deal, man.
Yeah, but it's the last year is
The
an
last
option.
year is optional. Yeah, so 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. So by the time that is, Deuce is 24 years old.
Yeah, but will Deuce want to wait that long? I mean, right now he can't say anything because he's on his rookie's contract.
Yeah, we have control over him. Look, I look. We're just speculating here. The Knicks won tonight. We play Detroit. When do we play Detroit? We play
Tomorrow.
Detroit. Wow, tomorrow already, right?
Tomorrow
Yeah.
night at 7 p.m.
Right, against Detroit, and then they play Houston.
No, then Friday Thunder. That's who they play. The 31st. And then we go into the new year against the Toronto Raptors and the Pacers.
Wow. Look, we have to win we have to go on a nice streak before the year ends, win these road trips here, games in the road trip to get this Knicks team back and moving to into the new year. The Knicks win tonight 96-88. Not a convincing win, but Minnesota was no threat. They are missing their top guns and Edwards and D'Angelo Russell and their center. I keep on forgetting his name.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Atlanta Town. So those are three cogs. I think the team, I think this COVID protocol or these safety protocols are affecting the whole NBA. And thanks that the Knicks got most of their players back. So the Knicks overcome a cold shooting night to beat the Wolves 96-88. Mitchell Robinson had 14 points, a season high 18 rebounds. Julius Randle added 13 points and 15 boards. And Fournier had 13 points, while Quentin Grimes had 11 off the bench for the Knicks in their second straight win this season. And Michael Beasley, Malik Beasley had 20. And Jay McDaniels had a season high 18 for the Minnesota, which lost their 3 games out of 4. And they have the same record as the Knicks, 16 and 18. So they've been playing well. With the stars, Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell all out due to COVID-19 protocols, Minnesota was able to knock off Boston on Monday. And they faced the Knicks while still 3 players still available. A day later, the Wolves couldn't repeat the performance against the Knicks thanks to a large part to a poor shooting night for them. And it was a poor shooting night for them. They couldn't hit their threes. The Knicks didn't shoot any better. Knicks shot only 41%. Didn't connect from deep, 16 from 40 from deep. The Knicks struggled to knock down their free throws, hitting just 6 of 16 from the line. That's always a no-no. R.J. Barrett was one of the many Knicks who struggled to shoot. And but he hit a big 3 with 4:11 left of the game to kind of set up the Knicks for this win this evening.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was an ugly victory, but a win is a win. We're gonna take it. Right now, we're we're a half a game between. I think we're in 10th, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, I'm sorry, I was looking at it a little earlier. I had it. We're in 11th, and we're a half a game between 8th and only 2.5 all the way up to 6th. So it's like I said, it's amazing how just going on a 4-5 game winning streak, what it can do for the franchise right now. So luckily, hopefully, the next couple of games are very winnable games against Oklahoma, against Detroit, and even against Toronto. Let's be honest. Toronto's a good solid team, but I think if we have all of our players playing and the way we've been playing, why not? Why can't we beat them too?
I agree. So, Juby, I'll see you tomorrow night after the game once again against the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything else to say. The Knicks win tonight to bring up their record to 16 and 18. They're 2 games away from evening their record at 500. The Knicks had a big third quarter where they had 28 points and Minnesota had 21 points. That first quarter, they kind of dominated as well. But once again, like you mentioned, if you don't hit those free throws, it's not going to show on the score. But the Knicks will never threaten this evening. The Knicks win 97-88.
Yeah, good win for us. The only thing I want to say is, we lost Mr. John Madden today, so hearts go out to his family. Mr. John Madden, big icon, broadcaster, coach. Jesus Christ, had a football that I grew up with playing named after him. So the sports world lost. I know it's a different sport, but I just wanted to say prayers out to his family and, kids and grandkids and everything, and prayers out for them. And that's it, man. Let's move forward. Let's keep this streak going. Let's climb up the playoff bracket, and hopefully we can continue on this path of getting back to 500 and beyond.
I totally agree. My sentiments also to John Madden, a great icon in football, and the creation of that game became an iconic game for everyone who plays. And also, I just want to let you know that I should be showing myself visibly, hopefully, by next week. I'm still tending to these painful injuries.
Listen, chat, tell him. Friday is the last game of our last show of the year. We need to have at least a headshot of Zenray. Let him know.
Yeah. Well, I'll try my best Friday. I was trying to put on something tonight, and the pain is too excruciating to even get my hands through anything. My left side of my body, between the broken ribs and my broken collarbone, is just excruciating pain, and it's I'm bearing with it. So hopefully, I should be back. I'll be honestly by the new year, fresh and ready to go. So with that said, Juby, the best in your family, and to all Knick Nation, the best is yet to come for Knick Nation. And make sure that you are enlightened with peace, love, and gratitude, knowing that the best is yet to come. Juby, take care of yourself. Have a good evening. The Knicks win 96-88, and we'll be on tomorrow after the game at Detroit Pistons against the Knicks at Detroit.
Absolutely, brother. Have a great night, man.
Good night. Zenray out.
All right, guys. That was Zenray from Zenray Sports TV. Like he said, the Knicks come away with a victory tonight. They held Minnesota under 100 points. First team to do it in a while. Yes, they were undermanned. Did our defense have a lot to do with it? We can't really say that. But a win is a win. We're going to take it. And we got Detroit tomorrow night. Hopefully we can make that 2-game winning streak. And we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have a Deuce McBride sighting. And maybe Julius Randle will have a better game. But like I said, either way, we won. Fantastic. Hope you guys have a great evening. Stay safe. And as always, family above everything, guys. Stay safe. Peace.
We are the New York Knicks. 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 Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. We're back on track, here we come. League is stunning 21 and the Knicks are on a run. And I'll tell you with Tibbs, we a bit too much to handle. With Barrett, Bullock, Burks, and Randall, it's the Knicks and we're taking back our place. Everyone's gearing up with a mask on their face. The Garden's going crazy and they're doing it for a reason. 21 is the Knickerbocker season. You better believe the Knicks got all